When a woman ignores you, it's not just silence, it's a psychological battlefield. Most men panic, chase, and fall apart. But here's the cold truth. What you do in that silence determines whether she loses interest or starts craving you. Let's break down the 5 deadly mistakes most men make when she ignores them, and how to respond like the high-value man she can't stop thinking about. Mistake number 1, over-texting and over-communicating. When she ignores you, your instinct screams at you to fix it. One text, no reply, so you send another. Then a follow-up, a meme, a song lyric, a just checking in message. Before you know it, you've crafted a digital trail of emotional vulnerability. And to her, it screams neediness. Let's get one thing straight. Over-communicating doesn't show care, it shows desperation. It sends a subconscious message that your sense of peace and emotional security depends on her acknowledgement. And trust me, nothing kills attraction faster than showing her that her silence breaks you. Why? Because women are wired to respect emotional strength, not emotional reactivity. When you flood her with texts after she pulls back, you're giving her power. You're teaching her that she can manipulate your attention just by going silent. And the worst part? You're making her feel smothered instead of missed. Here's the psychology. Attention needs scarcity to be valuable. If you're always available, always responding, always initiating, there's no tension, no mystery, no spark. And without that, attraction withers. Think about this. Can she truly feel your absence if you're always digitally present? Can she wonder about you, miss you, or reflect on you if you're blowing up her phone? High-value men don't chase validation. They don't explain their worth. They don't over-communicate just to feel seen. They say their piece once, and then they fall back and observe. That first message you sent? She saw it. And if she didn't respond, that was her response. No answer is an answer. Your silence is a statement. It says, I said what I needed to say. Now it's your turn. That kind of energy forces her to sit in uncertainty. And women are naturally curious. That pause, that unknown, it creates intrigue. It makes her wonder, why hasn't he followed up? If she's used to men begging for attention, your self-restraint becomes magnetic. You stand out not by doing more, but by doing less, with precision and confidence. So what should you do? Send your first message? Then stop? Let her sit in that silence. If she doesn't respond, move on with your day. Focus on your purpose, your goals, your body, your life. Let her feel the contrast between a man who needs nothing from her and the boys who crumble at her distance. You want to be the man who creates emotional gravity, who draws people in by his stillness, not by chasing. That only happens when you control your impulses. Because when a woman ignores you, it's not the time to react. It's the time to reveal who you are under pressure, to reveal how much power you have when you say nothing at all. Mistake number 2, trying to win her back with grand gestures. This is where most men lose the game. She pulls away, becomes distant, ignores a few texts, and you panic. You start plotting the romantic comeback, flowers, heartfelt paragraphs, flirty comments on her posts, maybe even a surprise visit. Here's the reality. These aren't signs of strength, they're signals of desperation. Trying to win her back with effort, especially when she hasn't asked for it, destroys your perceived value. It tells her you're trying to earn back her love because you believe you've lost it, that you need to buy her attention because your presence alone isn't enough. The truth is, when you chase a woman who's ignoring you, you validate her behavior. You confirm that she can withdraw affection and you'll compensate for both of you. That's not romantic. That's submission. Here's what you need to understand. Women are emotional detectives. They don't listen to your words. They feel your energy. And the energy of I need to win her back screams scarcity. It tells her you don't have options. You don't have direction. And worst of all, you've given her control over your emotional state. And that's the opposite of what builds attraction. Now flip the frame. Imagine she pulls away. And instead of reacting, you fall back. You go to the gym. You post nothing. You respond to others. You double down on your goals. You become a man in motion. You don't explain yourself. You don't campaign for love. You show her, through your discipline and peace, that you're the prize. And if she can't see that, someone else will. That's what flips the power dynamic. She starts asking, why isn't he chasing me? Did he move on? Has he lost interest? That uncertainty plants the seed of desire, because women crave the man they have to earn, not the man who gives himself away for free. This isn't about being heartless. It's about being strategic. A woman wants a man who knows his worth, not one who negotiates it. So the next time your instinct tells you to send flowers, pour your heart out, or make a dramatic move, pause. Redirect that energy into building the man who doesn't need to win her back, because he never lost himself. Let her wonder what you're doing. Let her sit with the silence. Let her feel the absence of a man who once showed up fully, and now doesn't need to at all. That's power. And power, when held with grace, always gets noticed. Mistake number 3. Reacting with emotion. Anger, frustration, or guilt. When a woman ignores you, it strikes something primal. The rejection stings. Your ego flares. The silence grows louder with every hour. And before you know it, you're typing out a long, frustrated message. Maybe you're saying, why are you doing this? Or I deserve better. Or worse, you post something passive-aggressive online just to get her attention. But here's the thing. Every emotionally charged reaction confirms exactly what she suspects, that you are not in control of yourself. Reacting with anger, frustration, or guilt doesn't win her back. It only validates her decision to pull away. Why? Because women are attracted to emotional strength. That means the ability to hold your composure when things aren't going your way. When you explode emotionally, even subtly, you send one loud message. You have power over me. And that message is lethal to attraction. Let's break down the psychology. A man who reacts emotionally is seen as unstable, unpredictable, not in control of himself. Women are biologically wired to seek out security, especially emotional security, in their partners. So when your emotional regulation fails, her respect fades. And where respect fades, attraction dies. On top of that, emotional outbursts often stem from a deeper need. The need to be seen, heard, validated. And when a man tries to fulfill that need by forcing an emotional reaction out of her, she doesn't see him as powerful. She sees him as needy. It doesn't matter whether your message is masked in sarcasm, sadness, or rage. It's still a cry for attention. And that cry tells her you've lost your frame. Now here's what a high-value man does instead. He doesn't react. He responds. With silence, with stillness, with grounded focus. He understands that a woman ignoring him is not a call for emotional chaos. It's a test of stability, a test that most men fail. When she goes silent, you must become quieter. When she pulls away, you pull deeper into yourself, not into a war of emotions. Channel that emotional energy. Don't suppress it, but don't externalize it either. Let it fuel your workout. Let it push you into your purpose. Let it remind you that her silence is your mirror, reflecting back the work you still need to do. Because nothing rattles a woman more than a man who refuses to be rattled. When she expects you to spiral and instead finds a man thriving, laughing, working, focused, she begins to wonder if ignoring you was a mistake. But if you lash out, you confirm it was the right choice. So here's your power move. Breathe, observe, step back. Let the silence speak louder than any emotionally charged message ever could. Because a man who maintains his calm under pressure, he's not just attractive, he's unforgettable. Mistake number 4. Apologizing excessively or seeking validation. When you're ignored, it's natural to second-guess yourself. Did I say something wrong? Was I too much? Maybe I hurt her without realizing it. And from that place of uncertainty, many men start apologizing, profusely. Messages like, I'm sorry if I upset you. Did I do something wrong? Please just tell me what's going on. At first glance, these may seem like emotionally intelligent moves. But here's the hidden truth. They signal insecurity. Apologizing without knowing what you're apologizing for doesn't show accountability. It shows self-doubt. It tells her that her approval is the judge and jury of your worth, that unless she reassures you, you're going to stay emotionally unsettled. This dynamic is toxic to attraction. Why? Because it makes her the authority figure in the connection. You're essentially saying, I need your feedback to feel okay about myself. That's not strength. That's dependence. Let's be clear. If you've genuinely hurt someone and you know it, own it. Apologize once, clearly, and respectfully. But if she's ignoring you without context and you're just fishing for reasons, you're giving away your power. Here's a secret. Women respect men who don't chase clarity when it's not being offered. A confident man assumes he did nothing wrong until proven otherwise. He doesn't seek validation. He doesn't plead for reassurance. He stands tall in the truth of who he is. When she sees that you're not scrambling to please her, she starts questioning her own behavior. Your non-reaction forces her to confront her silence. It makes her realize she doesn't have you emotionally wrapped around her finger, and that's where attraction grows. Seeking validation is also addictive. You may think, if I just get her to talk to me again, I'll feel better. But what happens when she goes silent again? You spiral, you repeat the cycle, and every time you do, you lower your value in her eyes. Here's your new mindset. Assume nothing. Own your worth. Stay centered. If she's ignoring you, let her. You don't chase someone who's pulling away. You don't ask for closure from someone unwilling to communicate. You move on with grace and clarity. Because the man who doesn't need a woman's validation, he becomes the man whose presence she begins to crave. Mistake number 5, trying to make her jealous. The classic revenge move. She ignores you, so you upload a selfie with another girl, or maybe a gym pic with a vague caption like, leveling up without distractions. You hope she sees it. You want her to see it, because deep down, you're trying to trigger her into caring again. But let me give it to you straight. Trying to make a woman jealous rarely works, and often backfires. Women are intuitive. They know when a man is being authentic and when he's posturing. When you start posting attention-seeking content just after she ignores you, it doesn't come off as confidence. It comes off as manipulation. And nothing repels a woman faster than a man who's clearly performing just to get a reaction. Think of it like this. If you're truly happy, fulfilled, and surrounded by options, you're too busy to prove it. You're living it, not flaunting it. Real confidence is quiet. It's in the things you don't say, the pictures you don't post, the validation you don't need. Trying to make her jealous gives her exactly what she wanted. Proof that you're emotionally invested in her behavior. And worse, it tells her that you're willing to play games instead of facing her silence like a man. If she's ignoring you, the last thing you want to do is reinforce that her absence is affecting your actions. That gives her power. So what's the move instead? Live authentically. Quietly thrive. Focus on what actually improves your life, not what looks good on social media. Don't post for her, build for you. Let her hear about you, not from your feed, but from mutual friends. Let her wonder how you're so composed, so unbothered, so successful without her. Because that's what draws her back. Not jealousy, not petty tactics, but the undeniable reality that you don't need her to win. And that, my friend, is when she starts to question everything. So let's recap. When she ignores you, it's not just silence, it's a test. And most men fail. They overtext, they try to win her back, they react emotionally, they beg for validation, or worse, they play childish games trying to make her jealous. But you're not like most men. You now understand that every one of these reactions comes from insecurity, and insecurity repels. What attracts? Composure, emotional control, confidence rooted in purpose, the ability to walk away without needing to announce it. If you want to be the kind of man women respect, desire, and chase, you need to stop responding like a boy who needs her, and start living like a man who values himself above all else. Because here's the truth. When you stop chasing, you stop bleeding energy. And when you stop bleeding energy, you become magnetic. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these mistakes have you made before? Or which one are you correcting starting today? Let's build stronger men, one mindset at a time. And if you found this video powerful, hit that like button, subscribe to Psychology Insight, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of clarity, strength, and growth. Until next time, walk in silence, move with power, live with purpose.